Ryasuke here, salutations, and this is my video for 18 characters that I want, my wish list, if you will, for Marvel Rivals, you know, the heroic shooter and things like that. I put this little video together, so I'm going to let this play. I'm going to pause and stop and things like that, and yeah, I kind of made multiple lists, tore some up, threw it away, rewrote it a couple of times. So let's go through what supposedly is this character list right here. I'm going to pause right about here, and then we'll talk about this, and then we'll keep going. So first of all, you see the fist icon, which is the assault, the damage class. Then you see the shield, which is the tank characters, which usually have some kind of shield or large pool of health and does great damage. And then lastly, you see the little plus sign. That's for healers or support characters who can do all kind of things, where they're like either healing or buffing or debuffing and things like that, or other situations that we don't even know of. So I have 18 characters of my own. I kind of even wrote out some of the special moves or how they would use their attacks and things. Not too deep, you know, I didn't do like the team up attacks and what their ultimate move, but just to give you an idea. So let's get started here. All right, so I'm going to let that play, and we will go with the first one as soon as it rolls up here so I can catch my breath. First character up is Blade. He's a damage character. I'm going to do 3 damage, 2 tank, and 2 support. So anyway, I would have him using a pistol, and I would have him where he could charge up and use a spike and even nail you to the wall. I would have him throw out the glaive to do extra damage, like a poison effect. And then lastly, I would have multiple stabs really fast in order to heal, sort of like a stab, steal, healer. In that sort of way, if his health was low, he could get some health back. Next up is Gambit. Obviously, he's damaged. He throws cards. He's more of a shooter type of character. If you're up close, he's going to use the staff swing. And another one idea I came up with is what I call the charge bomb touch, where he charges forward, touches a character, and explodes them, and then knocks them back. That's kind of an idea real quickly. So that is Gambit. Next thing up, it's time for villain. It's damage. It's the Green Goblin. I want this Green Goblin first. I know some of you are used to the movies, but I want this crazy maniac right here. Now, I wouldn't have him fly as high as Iron Man, but he has the pumpkin bombs. He does this electrical punch thing he can do. And believe it or not, I would have him use his glider there as a giant rocket he would shoot down and explode. Next up is a tank. Medusa. She's an Inhuman. Her hair can be a tank. It's strong as some steel and things like that, so she would make an interesting tank. I would have her doing multiple hits with the hair. She could do grapples. She could throw large pool of health. I think she would make an awesome female tank character with those. Next thing up is Thor. He would be a tank here. Let me just see here. And obviously he would spin the hammer. You've seen that as his shield. Throw the hammer, thunderbolts. And in fact, I would even do a ground pound where he would knock characters down, kind of like Reinhardt, but do electrical and damage as well. I would have his flight on a timer, but yeah, he's definitely a tank. And, you know, that sort of thing. Healer. Hawkeye. He has a lot of arrows. I would have him doing healer arrows. Then he would be a sniper. He would be one far distance sniping at characters. And for his special moves, bomb attacks, right? Like he can shoot arrows that actually stick and explode and things like that. If you're up close, he'll whack you with the bow. That's kind of the idea there. So that's Hawkeye as a healing. Another support character is Lilith, the mother of all demons. This is her from the comic book. She looks awesome. I would have her as a summoner, like these demon dogs that chase you and that sort of thing. She could create places where auras that debuff you or heal the enemy, heal your character, your allies. And also she could do a revive since she summons demons. Next up is Scott Summers. We're back to damage. Versatile beam, so he could shoot ricochet as well. I would also have him do a 360 kick where he slides, does a 360 kick, and kicks characters around space out, as well as rapid punches where you push a button and you keep tapping and he does like kind of a Fist of the North Star punching situation. Next up is Ghost Rider. I would have Ghost Rider, looking at my notes here, as a damage character. He spins the chains around, and believe it or not, I would not have him shooting fireballs. I would have him hook like Roadhog, but I would also have fire at the end of those chain attacks. And lastly, with his Hell Cycle, he would charge through and do multiple hits to characters, and then it will have a whole bunch of flames. That's how I would have him. Next up is Falcon, the real Falcon. I would have him flying around shooting with his guns. I would have Red Wing being an air turret that he could send out and shoot. I would have something called a boost kick where he would shoot and do physical attacks, and wing slicer where he would slice with his wings. So I would have him different from Iron Man and other flying characters, like a melee flying character, slicing with the wings and kicks. Villain time, tank time, Doctor Doom. I would have him play... Wait a minute, before we go there, he's supposed to be the main villain. And the other version of him is this right here, Doom 2099. I love Doom 2099. This mobile game got his suit pretty accurate, but yes, he is an awesome character. I would have him play like Sigma, where he could put shields, multiple shield here. I call them placer shields because you can place them anywhere you want. Obviously, he's got his Doom Blast and all those other things like that. Here's an interesting tank as well. It is going to be Cloak and Dagger as one character. That's right. And if you think about it, I made this really fast. Well, there's the Hulk and Bruce Banner. And so you're thinking, Ryasuke, does that mean you're Dagger first and you become Cloak? And also, too, if it's third person and he's hovering behind there, you would never see Dagger. You would just see Cloak all the time. And I was thinking the same thing, too. And so I saw this image. I would have them running side by side and that sort of thing. As big as the Hulk, I would have their hitbox like that. And you don't need to animate his feet. So anyway, what would happen is he steps forward and becomes this right here. He would be a darkness shield. That's what he does. And Dagger would be behind it and moving him around like Reinhardt's shield. When that goes away, she can attack with her daggers of light. She throws multiple light daggers and things like that. They also teleport. So he can teleport. Imagine a teleporting tank and that sort of thing. They might not be the beefiest tank, but I think this would be a fun way of using it. You know what I mean? She steps forwards to attack. He does defend. He can teleport. They can, short range teleport. You know what I mean? Land somewhere. Next character up is Moon Knight. Now, I only thought of this because rumored that he's in there. And at first I wasn't on board, but then I started thinking about it. He's support. When you look him up, he could do a healing touch. So instead of actually touching, I have him shooting out a palm blast of healing energy. Then I have him also doing these leap attacks that tags an enemy and leaps off. It's kind of like, these Batman characters where they leap and he could do a couple of attacks and retreat and things like that. I think, he throws his blades. I forgot about that as well. Black Widow. Everybody wants Black Widow. I want Black Widow. And she kind of reminded me of Moon Knight. And I almost didn't put her on the list because I thought it was like a little redundancy. But she's got her wrist stingers that stun and regular shots. Then she's got the batons that could do a couple of attacks. She can tag grenade. I would just make her a gadgeteer of damage, as well as an evasion move where she literally can evade a whole bunch of attacks. Next one is Captain America. And I'm going to pause so I can catch my breath a little bit here. And let me look at my notes, because Captain America right here. Oh, went too far. Where are we? There we go. Captain America is a damage character. I know. Big surprise that he's not. He's not a tank. He's a damage character. So I would have him throwing the shields, yes, but they also ricochet. I would also have him running with the shield to do damage, to even stun or knock down characters. And then lastly, one thing that I'm pretty proud of, I came up with myself, is something I call the Patriot Punch, where I would have him constantly running around doing that Captain America run, where he runs and he just runs full and he just does a punch, like a gut punch, and it lifts you up in the air. The Patriot Punch. You can even make a star, star energy at the end of it, and he just lifts you off the ground, and it's damaging. Like, he could just do such great damage to other damage characters as well as support characters. So Captain America is not a tank, but he is a damage dealer, and that sort of thing. So now that I've caught my breath a little bit, is it going there? Okay, yes. I paused, but I kept talking. All right, so we've done Black Widow as a damage. Yes, another damage. Whirlwind. I should have scooted the image a little bit over. But anyway, Whirlwind is a villain. And I looked him up. I actually a fan of him from the comic books, but he has these saw blades, or these blades at the end. That's his shooting attack. Here's a more modern version of his costume. I love the way he looks. He looks interesting. He's a villain. So obviously you know how he's going to play. He is going to do whirlwind 360 attacks. He can lift characters. I'd even have him do rising kicks diagonally to hit characters. And of course his super would be some kind of tornado. But anyway, he would be a really fun character, really fun villain to put in here with his blades that shred, that he also can shoot, and that he can burst forward and fly. Next character, female, is a tank. That was a damage. Phoenix, not Jean Grey. Phoenix, it is Jean Grey, but I would have her have a psychic fire shield, right? And then I would have her doing a rising Phoenix attack instead of diving, because Phoenix rise, that's actually what Phoenix do. So I would have that, and I would have her doing more fire attack, shooting out and that sort of thing. So she's a tank. Last character, who is, believe it or not, a damage, would be the Red Skull. And I would have him using a Luger, I call it the Hydra handgun. And I have him using the Tesseract to do Red Skull Blast, or Faust Fist. I kind of made that up. As well as I would have him using shoulder, you saw the suit there, shoulder guns that would pop up like turrets and just annihilate anything in his pathway. Another thing, and I will pause. Actually, let me go back. You see that right there, but let me go back. He has a Tesseract there. I guess I didn't give enough time in the video to fully explain Red Skull. So anyway, yes, the Hydra handgun, the Faust Fist, which is where he would charge forward with an electrical punch and then blast and that sort of thing. So that's the Faust Fist, since he's using the Tesseract. And then another interesting thing I thought of him with the Tesseract is that he could capture you in the Tesseract trap, which means all these characters that are flying around, if he puts his hand out, they get trapped in a cube, and then it shatters or it crushes, and then they fall down and stuff like that. So I think that's a really good, it's on a cooldown. He can, if he misses, you got to aim it like a shot. And Tesseract trap, that sort of thing. And then, like I said, he's got guns that come out of the shoulder and just auto shoots and that sort of thing. So now we can continue. because I really thought about what would make Red Skull pretty unique. So we got damage, we got support. Those were all the 18 characters. And so what I came up with was 10 damage, 5 tank, and 3 supports. Because you don't want so many support that they're healing all the time. I know that's a lot of tanks with the tanks that we have, but I would say that some of these tanks I would have like dive tanks, meaning their shields may be a little bit lower, but they have more health. You see what I mean? Somebody like Medusa, like she has a lot of health, and her shield with us here is kind of like this, you know, like on one side, and she kind of moves it, and then it goes away, that sort of thing. So that's pretty much it. Those are my 18 characters. Tell me what you guys think. I did not do... Oh, real quickly, for the super move for Cloak and Dagger, I thought of this name, Eclipse. You know, they both like maybe spin around in its light and darkness and they hit everything in 360. I don't know. Or they group everybody, teleport and drop them. I don't know, something like that. But it's going to be different than Doctor Strange. I know Doctor Strange is the teleporter, but I would only have him teleporting Dagger and himself, you know, and that sort of thing as a tank, because he does create a shield of darkness and things like that. So yeah, that's why, you know, some tanks maybe they have larger health than shields, and some have better shields than health. I would kind of do that balance. So that's the thing. And damage, you need more damage characters to go after the tank characters, and from a distance, or you know, just raw damage, or being mobile like Falcon and Green Goblin and stuff like that. So anyway, thanks for taking the time to check out this, and tell me some of your characters that you would want to see in Marvel Rivals. And last but not least, you're probably going, wait a minute. No Venom? No Wolverine? I'm making a separate video later. I'll probably do another video. There's a game coming out, but there's another video I'm going to explain why there's an omission of particularly those two characters, and you will be surprised. There's a reason why I'm on board now with certain characters. For example, like Moon Knight. At first I was like, Moon Knight, but then I started thinking, I was thinking about the gameplay. This is more of a hero shooter. And also, too, you don't want a whole bunch of characters that fly around. You know, it's not a shooter. And then you don't want a whole bunch of characters that all just shoot as well. You want to mix between like some melee and shooting and powers and stuff like that. Makes them much more interesting. Okay, I'm out of here.